Welcome to Hey Chap. Let me tell you a story. There was a 4-year-old girl. She lived with her grandmother and her mother. The mother was working many hours at her work at the government, and her grandmother took care of her. One day the grandmother became very ill and she had to go to the hospital. But the mother did not know what to do, and in Austria there were not that many places to put a child. So she contacted a convent which had a kindergarten. So one afternoon, the mother took the child with a suitcase and brought her to the kindergarten, not telling her that she will be there for a while, why she would be there, and if she ever will come back. She dropped her off and left. The nuns took her, showed her where she was going to sleep, and left. The child was so overwhelmed and so sad. She climbed under those covers in her bed to hide. And the nuns were looking for her all afternoon and evening in every hall and closet until they found her under the covers in the bed. She cried herself to sleep every night. She cried at church. She cried when she ate her meals, because all these things reminded her of her time with her mother and grandmother. On the weekends, she sat on the steps in front of that convent door and listened to the bus as it stopped and went by, and the footsteps of people going by, hoping that one of these footsteps would bring her mother to her. The story ends well. After several weeks, she was able to go home. Yes, I was this child. And I'm telling this story because hopefully you see out of my story how much this impacts a person. It has impacted me my whole life. And we have currently hundreds of children in the United States separated from their parents, ripped from them, put in cages. I can't even imagine what these children are feeling right now. They were told, as they traveled probably weeks and months and dealt with hunger and thirst and tiredness and exhaustion, there will be at the end a better life. There was hope. And when they came to our border, this hope was dashed. The only person they knew was ripped from them, and they were put in cages. What hope? I have heard that these children now are up for adoption by Christian families. I do not think these children need to be adopted. They have families. We just have to try a little harder to help them find these families. And I have an idea. We have, for example, the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is a large organization encompassing many, many countries, North America and South America as well. There are many dioceses which can communicate with each other. What if Catholic families would take in these children, not to adopt, but to help them and assist them to find those families, their own families. Dioceses could communicate and let people know where these children are. They can work together with newspapers. Yes, the stories and pictures can go in the newspaper, and I know that is a risk because there are sex traffickers out there. But I think that can be counteracted by DNA testing. Parents being tested and the child, and then confirm the parenthood. That way one can avoid that a sex trafficker claims a child. The other thing would be, the other component would be that there are many other organizations and denominations and faith groups who might be able to raise funds to help with the DNA testing. Yes, these things cost money. Yes, traveling costs money. To help raise funds to make this possible. And then we have a resource that is the Red Cross. The Red Cross has experience in bringing together displaced persons. That's what they did during the wars. They know how. So I think by the working together of these various organizations, a large enough church, the Catholic Church, that can communicate across continents, other organizations, newspapers, the medical community, and the Red Cross, I think we should be able to get these children united. But we have to want to, we have to try hard enough. And I think we got to invite our government to show goodwill to let these children be reunited. I know we have been told that these other people are criminals and bad, and we have been given all kinds of scenarios. But these are human beings and children. They are created by our Creator. Beautifully, just as beautiful as you and I are. They have been created and been given gifts to share in this world. When someone is traumatized to such a point, it will be very difficult to share those gifts. We need to help in the healing of this trauma. Because we are all beautifully made in the image of God. And I hope that if you are a person of influence, you will be willing to step up. I have contacted a few persons of influence and will continue doing so, hopefully getting a response. And if you are able to, I ask you to help these children to be united. Have a blessed day.